a voice spoke to me and it said, "You're dead." And for some reason, after uh, hearing this, it's like it snapped me out of a space I was in, because now I realized that I said, okay, I've heard this voice numerous times and I always ignored it, but this time I said, well, what am I doing? And that voice isn't God. Uh, this whole thing, this is not God. It doesn't make any sense, right? For some, I don't know why I finally came to that conclusion, but that voice just snapped that switch in me, and I said, okay, well, I'm done with this. And but with that, it wasn't just that and finished, and I'm living my life. No, with that came a uh, the burden of a depression, and I started to, because I felt my hope was that God would get me out of this. The voices and angels that came to me told me that, yeah, God's gonna get you a new, create you a new body. He's gonna take you out of this body and put you in that new body, and then you're gonna go and preach and stuff like that. So that was my hope, and that I was gonna be freed from these thoughts and voices and so forth. That this was gonna be my deliverance, right? So upon realization that this was not going to be what I was expecting, the outcome, I was casted into depression, and because now I have to live like this. One of the sources of strength I had to get through a lot of the madness. Like, I've been through some madness, some maddening moments, and uh, I always, it's like, oh, God's, that was my hope. I looked to that hope, and so right there, it felt like now the light, the one source of light that I had, the tiny light that used to carry me forth, was now gone. And what do I have? Nothing but darkness, nothing but hopelessness, nothing living in this world with people that despise me, people that rejoice at the way that I am suffering, people that would say good when they hear, would read my mind, and some of the thoughts that would come in there make me cringe because I was afraid. Now I have to live with that. Now the weight of these things on my mind just started to hurt, if I was to say something, in a way that I felt, but now it felt so much more heavier, and I would just I would cry. I'd walk the nights and I cried. I walked the streets out there at night and I cried. One of my favorite times, aside from the nighttime, would be when it's clouded over and rain is coming down and nobody want to be outside because it was just that miserable out there. And I would just put on my shoes and I just go walking, and I felt so good because I felt like nature was reflecting the misery inside my own heart. And I would cry in there, and I felt so good because it was daytime. But if I cried, nobody would know, because yeah, I mean, I think they know, but no one would see it because the rain would just be washing it away. So it was strangely a sort of peace, but yet I was so miserable at the same time. I used to feel like the fly that was trapped in a spider's web, and every time I try to, get untangled, I get more tangled. The more I struggle, the more entangled I got, and that's what it was like in my head, trying to put myself forward because I always felt like I was so far back, unable to come to the surface, because I was always struggling with these voices, just these thoughts that would just be twisting my head, and I could never surface, you know. So I was always just a shell of a person. And so naturally, this feeling like this, like the world wants me to dead, and hate it, and rejoice at this. And going through all this, I felt I wanted to kill myself. And at the same time, my heart was felt like this glowing ember was in there, and it wanted me to put a knife through it, and touch this thing. And so I was ready to go. It was calling, and I was ready to answer the call. And I went into the garage, took the knife, put it to my chest, and I was gonna kill myself. It wasn't then though. It was then that some reason, or it wasn't a voice, but it was like a feeling or something that says, kind of, "You're a coward. You're a coward." And I said, "Why am I a coward?" And I thought, well, yeah, why are you here? You're only here because you're afraid. You're afraid of everyone else out there laughing at you, rejoicing at your suffering because they want it, and now you have no escape. You have no reason now to stand as if you're gonna escape this, and you're afraid. You're ashamed. You're afraid, and and so, and I said, yeah, I think I let people bully me to this point, and so I'm not that kind of person to. I never felt like I'm that kind of person who would get bullied to like go for kill myself. I never, no, I never felt like that. Never thought I'd be that person, but here I am, and I said, I'm not going this way. And I said, you know what? If they want to kill me, let my blood be upon their hands if they want me to die. And I'm not going to do them no favors. So I went and put the knife away. And that's when I was determined to live. And also, prior to this, I used to have that woe is me kind of mentality. Used to feel sorry for myself because, why me? I thought. I didn't live my life trying to hurt people. There's plenty of worse people out there, and are they suffering like this? I don't think so. But why me? What did I do? You know what I mean? Like I felt like I wasn't a good person per se. Like I did bad things, but I wasn't like, going out to hurt anybody, or didn't try that to, or you know what I mean? Like what it was, but I didn't feel like, but still I said, why me? Why? I just want to live a normal life and do normal things, so but then I thought, my cousin, she works at the stollery, the hospital for with the little infants and young children who are born with birth defects and all kinds of things, that's just suffering, and those things. And when I thought about why them, they're born into this world. They don't do good. They don't do bad. They don't know good or evil, but yet they suffer. Why? And I thought, well, why them? And then if it's why them, then why not me? Why do I deserve any better? So after that, I felt ashamed. I literally kind of hung my head. I felt so small because how dare I act as if life somehow owes me something? Me who have done plenty of freaking bad enough that I say, yeah, I probably deserve this more than them. But I deserve all, you know what I mean, what they got, but yet they got it. And all I got is thoughts going in my head and craziness, and I'm saying, why me? No, why not me? Exactly, right? So from that, and by saying that, it actually strengthened me, and it strengthened my resolve, because I'm not special. I get hardships, and hardships are meant to be overcome. So I said, okay, well, why not? And this choosing, and that's what I want to talk about. I'm talking about here, the power of decision, choosing to not be a victim, to not feel like a victim, and allow myself to be pushed and pulled in all kind of corners because woe is me, but allowing myself uh, to know to able to look at my situation and not feel undeserving of it, but see it as a challenge that life gave me, allowed me to overcome it, allowed me to move forward, allowed me to not be crippled, because I used to be in my room and I used to, my family used to come home, my mother, my sisters, my cousin, and they used to come in my room and say, "Hi, Paul, how was your day? What did you do?" And so forth. And sometimes I would answer them, sometimes I wouldn't. But after this new switch in mentality, taking my life back, I said when they come home or came home, I didn't wait for them to come and say hi anymore. I left my room. I went out there and I said, "Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing? How was your day?" And this really helped me a lot, because it wasn't that my struggles were over. I wasn't feeling any better. I felt just as miserable, just as tormented, just as hated, just as despised. Everything was still the same, but I took control of my situation. I was no longer the silent victim. I was now somebody with a voice, somebody with a purpose, and the purpose was to move forward. And I challenged that, made myself uncomfortable, and continued by continually doing that, stepping out of my comfort zone. And that's how I challenged the anxieties, some of the fears and the mistrust that I had for my family and people. And it's from there that I was able to continue doing that, become comfortable with talking with people. And then I was able to move from there and go out and get work and all stuff like that. So the power of decision, that's choosing not to kill myself, choosing to stop feeling sorry for myself. When I made those pivotal decisions, those things were able to open doors for me to move forward. These doors were previously locked, but right there mentally, it unlocked those doors, and I was able to be free enough to walk forward. It loosened some of my bonds, right? And by moving forward, I was able to get the keys to unlock the other bondages in my mind, the voices, and so forth. So the power of decision is a great tool that if we can recognize what we have in that, and to use that power, to use those things to our advantage. And we must, if we can see that, then we can take those stands and move forward. So the power of decision, that's what helped me uh, to pretty much be where I am. And this is what everybody, you have to come to these places, deciding what paths to take in life. And mental illness or not, we all come there. So all right, thank you, until next time.